Hey guys, so I wanted to do a different kind of video tonight. So I wanted to talk about PCOS awareness and other things that go along with it, because there for the longest time I didn't hear much about it, and now it's been a common thing that I'm reading more and more women are developing and talking about, and I went through the same thing. So I was really young when I started maturing and started my cycle. I was 11, and a year later, around the age of 12, well, I should say around the age of 12 or 13, I can't remember when it was, I started developing really heavy cycles and having a lot of pain issues, just really bad. So, not thinking anything of it because I was young, and my parents not thinking anything of it because I was young. It's just a normal thing to go through. So roll forward to the age of like 14, 15. It started getting worse, and the pain was just unbearable, that I would sit and cry, curl up in a ball, and didn't want to go to school because of it. Well, I think, rolling forward again at the age of, I think it was like 16 or 17. And at that point, you're in high school. I was having major issues. And I was in school at one time, I should rewind back a little. I did start going to an OB and doctors before I hit my late teens. Came to find out I started having cysts all over my ovaries. No, not just one, both sides. The one was worse than the other.
Mommy?
So in high school, now again, I did go to OB and found out I was constantly having cysts in my mid-teens. So going forward again, I think it was like 16, 17. One day I was in school and I had a cyst pop, not knowing that's what happened, and it took me to my knees. So going through that, I was already being bullied in school. So I actually quit school the first time, and then actually not quit, I was being homebound. And then decided after a bad car accident I was in to try to go back and do school again. But that happened, and the nurse didn't want to partake in calling my parents, even though I knew what was going on. And I got in trouble because I used a cell phone to call. And then I was also still getting bullied. But this has nothing to do with this video. So I decided, after that was happening and everything, my mom decided to completely pull me. And don't worry, before I go on with anything, I still graduated because I was allowed to, since I went through the school district to do my GED. So, and I still graduated the same year, 2007, like I was supposed to, instead of just walking with my class. But with that, going forward, I was doctor's appointments, trying to figure this out. Nobody was really into, hey, there's an actual issue here. So going forward, even more, not into my I think I was like 20. I went again. It's part on birth control, but to help after they found out that I was having more and more issues, but it didn't. It actually, I tried, I think 5 or 6 of them at that point when they had those out, and it just kept making me bleed. it would not stop. I would not stop bleeding at all. And it was not helping the cyst go away. So go to the age of 21 when I got with my husband at the time, boyfriend, girlfriend. I decided more needed to be done. And I went to get more testing done. Still, doctors just kept telling me it was cyst. There was nothing, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. Had my first kid at the age of 23. No issues getting pregnant. Come after that, after I healed and everything and started cycling again, more issues arose. And they decided, they're like, oh, that's just because you had a kid. Sometimes it gets better, sometimes it gets worse after having kids. So, go into my mid-20s when I had my second kid. Prior to having her, I went to the OB to make sure everything was good because I knew my cysts were getting worse, and a lot of times cysts can hurt a pregnancy. It can make issues where you have troubles getting pregnant. And that's where the IVF journey comes in. I did not have to do that, but that's where it comes in for a lot of people. So we tried because I was told there was nothing majorly wrong. I can get pregnant. So we tried. It took almost a year to get pregnant with our second girl. Fine. She came healthy. Everything was great. And then after her, once things normalized again in my body, it got worse, and I went back to the doctors and OB, and then one OB was like, hey, it could be PCOS. I'm like, okay, great. What do we do? There's not much they wanted to do for me. They said it could be. They weren't giving a definite answer. Okay, fine, I'll just deal with it. Like, it's something that I just didn't press the issue on because for me, I didn't know a whole lot about it at that point or what PCOS really was. So, going into my late 20s, early 30s, back to the doctors again because I'm having more problems. More scans done. Of course, more cysts on ovaries. Ovaries are right ovaries covered. Left one has small ones all over it. So, I'm like, okay, well, there's something definitely going on. Like, my body is not acting the way it should. The pain's getting worse. The flow's getting heavier. What are we gonna do? And it was talked about, like, a hysterectomy wasn't talked about right away because we wanted one more. I was going to get my tubes done after my second, but my husband's like, hey, can we just maybe wait and try for one more? And I'm like, okay, not a big deal. Like, I was for that, even though I was having a lot of troubles, I was for it because that's my choice. Like, I was for it. So I got pregnant with our last, and that took a little bit, but that pregnancy was rough. It was really rough. And after him, of course, now I'm in my 30s, early 30s, pain's even worse. I couldn't take it. I was curling up crying. Mood swings were so bad. There was a week where the week before I was getting sick, I was getting migraines. The week of, I was migraines, in bed crying, taking medicine like crazy. I'm not a medicine person, but the pain was just getting unbearable. And then I was getting this sharp pain constantly on my right side, and I could feel the cysts on my right side were so big that I could feel it through the skin. And I'm like, look, all these doctors are telling me, like, there's nothing they can really do. I mean, rewinding back before I got pregnant with my second child, when I went to the OB to make sure everything was good, she tried to tell me, she goes, you may have endometriosis, but there's nothing we can do at this point. She goes, we typically do a DNC, but if it's early on, like, there's nothing we can really do. Like, you're gonna get it. If you have it, you have it. There's nothing we can do. I know that, like, a DNC they can do, and they can do something about it because my mom had something done when she was diagnosed. But I don't know. I mean, it could have been the fact that I wanted another child, but at the same time, she could have said, hey, this is your chance of having children. This is what it is. This is what we can do. What choice do you want to make? I made the choice of having another kid, and she knew that, but she didn't give me choices. She just said that there's nothing that I could do. So after fast forwarding again, back to the time after I had my son, which was during COVID, the family doctor I went to, I've been going to since I was a little kid, and those guys are great, but the guy and the lady that have been there since I was little, the guy was just ignoring all my scans and everything that I was getting done, and getting mad at me at that point because he didn't want to listen to me, that I knew my body. So I started going to the lady doctor that knew me when I was younger. And finally, she's like, yeah, she goes, after seeing all the stuff you've been going through for years now and looking at your file, there's definitely something there. And it sounds like PCOS. It sounds like it could be something more. So I got the scans done. She sent me to a different OB. And this OB finally listened to me and looked at my chart. And she said, listen, you have PCOS. Like, there's no doubt about it. And then that was like, okay, what can I do at this point? She goes, let's do the DNC. Let's do more ultrasounds just to do it. Okay, fine. She was actually listening to me. Let's do that. Did the DNC and it came back. Yeah, there's stuff going on. The ultrasound proved I had PCOS. And at this point, she gave me the option. I was like, just take it. I have my kids now. Just take everything. She goes, listen, she goes, that is your choice. She goes, but she goes, that's a good choice to make if you're having that. Okay, take it. Take it. So I got surgery to remove everything in 2022 or 23. I think it was 23. Yeah, 23. This was right before we moved out of state from our home state. And I, at that point, was grateful. Like, went to the hospital, got it done. I was so glad. Well, once the DNC came back and she was like up for that, I was like, okay, like, and then she just recommended to remove my tubes completely so it didn't cause any more issues. And after surgery, she told me, hey, your ovaries aren't scarred enough to take them, but let's just keep an eye on them. I don't want to have to give you hormone pills. And I was fine with that, whatever. And then she also told me, hey, there was a start. We didn't catch it on the first DNC, but this one, there was a start of endometriosis in your cervix. Great, everything's gone. Everything's out, everything's gone. I don't have to worry about it other than my ovaries. She proceeded to tell me that I have a good likely chance that the endometriosis may not come back, which, reading up on it and knowing from other stories, it could, even though they caught it super early. So I'm not too concerned about that though, because now since I've had that surgery, I've not had an issue. I have not had pain. I've not had, some people go through still symptoms every month. I have not had that. The only thing I seem to have still are the migraines around the time that I would typically have. That's it. Just the migraines and the pressure, which could be the hormone thing. So I feel like for those out there that have PCOS, there are definitely many choices. It doesn't mean you have to do the surgery right away. Just keep an eye on it, but make sure if you feel like something's wrong, you press the doctors and make them listen. because for years I could not get anybody to listen. And again, I'm thankful that in a way I didn't, because I was able to have my 3 children before something majorly was taken from me that I could not have children. And for those that have to, I know it's hard. IVF is an option, and I know some people can't do it because they can't afford it, but it is important, very important, to tell your doctors and make sure they listen to you, because PCOS and endometriosis is nothing to even mess with, and both of them can cause cancer, is what I was told. So thankfully I was able to get that. I also genetically was told that I'm a super small person. I'm 5 foot, I weigh 130 now, but I typically should only weigh 110, 120, which I was before having my last 2 kids. But all my stuff was enlarged compared to a normal person's size. And it had nothing to do with that. Genetically, I guess that can happen, that your cervix and stuff is bigger than what your body can handle, which also causes more issues, more pain, which will also, with the flare-ups and everything with the endometriosis and PCOS, will cause even more major issues than what normal people will. And another thing with PCOS, and I know this is embarrassing, and I know a lot of people don't talk about it, but I have taken notice, and this is how I knew another reason why there was something wrong. I started developing facial hair. It's not bad. It's embarrassing to talk about, but I want to put this out there because I know there are people out there that are scared to talk about it. It's not severe. I take care of it. I don't shave it. Don't shave it. Pluck it if you don't have much, because it will come back thicker if you shave it. But if you see these 2 scars on my chin, that's me with the 2 pieces that come in. And I get it here. Now, it's not bad, but I get it here and I take it off. It's not where you can tell, like, some of these people that do walk around and have, like, the remnants. I don't, but, and those people don't feel bad for it, because, listen, when people don't understand this, and please, I'm asking, if you don't understand it, don't leave comments and be rude, because these people have no idea, unless they go through it, of what develops. I have had a family member reach out to me to talk to me about it, because a couple years back, because she goes through it and she can't even have kids now because hers was really bad. I've done research. I've seen other people go through it, and I want you to know you're not alone. I know it's embarrassing, and I'm embarrassed. Even, like, I've been with my husband 15 years and I still get embarrassed about this, and he knows it's not my fault. But it's not easy to handle. There's days I cry about it because this is awful. This, even if it's just 2 spots that are just 2 pieces, it tears me up. And I want people to know, don't be embarrassed about it. We're not alone. Well, you need somebody to talk to? Reach out in comments. I just wanted to put this awareness out there to let everybody know, not that has been diagnosed or is scared to even go out there and get diagnosed. Don't let your doctors swing you away from it. You know what your body's doing, and you have the right to request testing. That is it, everybody, for tonight. Thank you.